Let me talk about Deion Sanders' coaching tenure at Colorado in his first season. Started off 3-0, started off pretty good. And they won one more game, and then they lost the rest of their games. So they ended up going 4-8. To me, Deion Sanders is, he's not ready to be a head coach at this level. He doesn't have any X's and O's. He doesn't have a defense, doesn't have an offense he wants to run. He don't know anything like that. He's not an X's and O's coach. He's one of those CEO type of coaches that just motivates people, and that's not going to cut it, man. At Colorado or any other school. Some of these coaches, they have, X's and O's. They're good at being the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. They're bringing a scheme. They're bringing a scheme with them. He's not bringing no scheme with him. And his coordinator is Sean Lewis. He went to San Diego State to be a head coach. And then the defensive coordinator, I think he came from Alabama. He's trash. He had to reassign the offensive coordinator to another guy that used to coach in the NFL. He's garbage. Pat Shermer, hot trash. So he's already starting off on a bad foot with these coordinators, man. The coordinator was having his son drop back all these times. They couldn't run a football. They couldn't do nothing. And that's Deion Sanders' fault. And he should have brought some other coordinators with him. He should have brought the coordinator with him from Jackson State to run his offense and defense. Keep the same scheme that got you where you had success at Jackson State, running whatever scheme he was running, whatever offense and defense he was running. He should have kept them people and brought them to Colorado with him. Instead of bringing these white coaches that don't have any skin in the game with him. They just barely know Deion, and that's trash. And this season was bull junk, like he likes to say. They had a 29-point lead against Stanford. They blew that. They got mollywopped by Oregon. They got smashed by Washington State. They played good against Arizona. They lost that game at the end, on a field goal. So they could have really been 6-6 this year. If they would have finished the game against Stanford, and if they would have beat Arizona, they could have been 6-6. They could have had a bowl game. But that game against Stanford, they should have won. So they really should be 5-7, really. You can make a claim for them being 5-7 for real. If they would have beat Stanford, they have no business losing to Stanford like that. No business. But Deion is not a good X's and O's coach. He needs to dig deep. He needs to go find him some good offensive coordinators, some good defensive coordinators. And my advice to him is go get some black coaches. Go get some black defensive coordinators, get some black offensive coordinators. Start bringing these white supremacist coaches in. These coaches not going to do him any favors. He knows that. So hopefully he go find him a black offensive coordinator and a black defensive coordinator. Somebody that he can trust, somebody that's going to be down for him and his family, especially his son, putting his son in harm's way. His son got toe up this season. Travis Hunter got hurt on that late hit against Colorado. And his son is a good football player. Both of his sons good football players. The quarterback, Shedeur, he's pretty good. He's a top draft pick. If he in the right system that can protect him, they need to run the ball. Oh, there's just so much drama in that whole program. And then it comes out that he's disrespecting some of the transfers and stuff like that. Like, dude, you're not Nick Saban. You're not Kirby Smart. You're not those guys. You're not. You don't have any X's and O's. All them years in the NFL, he should have been learning some defense. Learning the X and O's on defense. I don't know why he hasn't learned anything on defense. He should be a defensive head coach. He should run his own defense. I mean, he can teach the corners how to play. But do he know anything about, teaching coverages and stuff like that? That head CEO type of coach, that's not going to do it. That motivating type of coach, it's not, no. Because most of these coaches in the college football, they're either good on one side of the ball. Like I just said earlier, the offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. So they bring in a scheme, and Deion has no scheme. All he's doing is just being himself, and that's not going to bring no top-notch players. You got to have a scheme. You gotta have people fit your scheme, and you gotta have certain players and certain sizes of players to fit your scheme. He don't have any of that, and that's why he's gonna fail at Colorado. He's gonna fail. So he needs to bring him some good coaches in with some schemes. He needs to learn some defensive schemes, some offensive schemes. He needs to go and get in the playbooks and learn something that can help him. Just by being him being prime is not going to get no 5-star players on his team. It's not. Who's going to be your defensive coordinator? Who's going to be your offensive coordinator? Come on, dude. These kids do not want to play for you just because you Deion Sanders. I wouldn't want to play for him just because he's Deion. What's that going to do for me? How's that going to get me to the NFL? How's that going to put money in my pocket, especially with the NIL? How's that going to do anything for me? And I like Deion. I like having a black head coach, but he's not an X's and O's coach. He's not. And it showed that they got their butts mollywopped in some of these games. They got their butts kicked. And that's a good thing. So he need to dig deep and go find him some good offensive coordinators, some good defensive coordinators, especially black ones. You came from a black college, you need to bring some black coaches with you. I don't know why the hell he went and got these white coaches and they putting his son in harm's way and making him look like a complete fool, a complete idiot, like he don't know what he's doing. Wake up, Deion. Wake up. Coach Prime. Quit the bull junk, Coach Prime. Get better. He's been known the arch villain, the king of all villains.